Hi guys, welcome to Marian Inspired, your home of craft, decor, DIY and home improvement. So today we are going to run a two-part series. The first part we're going to do our craft you can series where we just come up with different crafts that you can DIY at home. And tomorrow being Mother's Day, that's the second Sunday of the month of May. We are celebrating our mothers. Yay! All mothers, happy Mother's Day in advance. We celebrate you. And to my mother, I love you and I celebrate you. Thank you for making me to be the woman that I am. So in the first series, we are going to do a decoupage craft. Decoupage is whereby you stick basically paper. We use paper onto a surface, and you can use it either as a display on your table. You can hang it on your wall. You can actually decoupage on any surface from glass to wood. And what we use for decoupage is it's a type of glue. We actually call it Podge. So basically it's just a sealer, and it's like sealant, and it also gives you a good finish because it actually dries clear. So basically it dries transparent. So this will be our decoupage item for today. So I'll take you through the list of materials that you'll need for this craft. So we are going to come up with two things. The first thing are going to be coasters. These are things that you use on your table to just put your cup or your mug or your glass to prevent from staining your surfaces. Then we're going to do a display message that is going to be decoupaged using the Mod Podge. So these are our list of materials. So first of all, you need Mod Podge. I get my Mod Podge from Myra's Crafts. We'll share links with you. It's a craft shop that supplies different types of crafts. Secondly, you're going to use so this is just a varnish, normally used on oil paintings, but it can also be used on different surfaces just to seal the surface but still give it a clear look. So this is matte. Normally there's a gloss and matte, but I love matte. As you can notice, my Mod Podge is also matte. Then you're going to need let me say something more like for spreading and ensuring there are no bubbles as you apply the Mod Podge. You can use an old ATM card. You can use this is just my old Safaricom SIM card thing. Then you need a foam brush. Myra's Craft and other craft shops also sell foam brushes. I think it goes for $150 a piece, but you can also DIY your own foam brush, and I will show you how to do that. So all you need is something for the sponge you use in the kitchen for scrubbing your dishes, and a peg. It doesn't have to be a wooden peg. You can use plastic peg so long as it's a peg. Then we need tiles, ceramic tiles. So these are just ceramic tiles that I got from the normal hardware. They go for 50 bob a piece. If you buy a pack of 17 pieces, it goes for 800 Kenya shillings. The size is standard, but what you can do is you can customize your size by cutting your tile into the different sizes that you want, and you need a tile cutter. What you do is just you score along your tile and put a line of weakness, then you break it at the point of weakness. You need a sandpaper to just sand the rough edges on your tile. You can buy your tile cutter from a normal hardware. It goes for 200 Kenya shillings. You can buy your sandpaper from the hardware. It also goes for, like this strip was 30 Kenya shillings, so quite affordable. You need acetone, or you can use methylated spirit, and some cotton wool. So basically this is just to clean up your tile, to remove all the unwanted stuff on the tile. Then you will need to print out your messages. Just to let you know, you need to ensure that you print this with a laser jet, not an inkjet printer. If you don't have a laser jet printer, you can go to printers shops in towns and just request that they print for you using a laser jet printer, but please ensure that you print it on normal printing paper. The reason we ensure with laser jet is because the Mod Podge, it doesn't smudge as compared to the ink that is in the toners of the inkjet printers. You can also actually transfer photos, and this is an example of a photo we transferred, which I'll just talk about it later. Finally, you need foam. This is for the coasters. I bought this, it's an adhesive foam. I bought it from Textbook Center. It's a pack of around 10 different colors, and the whole pack goes for 400, so you can just buy and keep it and use the foam for something else later. What the foam does is it actually peels off. So this is the foam. It feels like a leather like fabric. Then you peel it off and you stick on your tile. So you stick at the back of the tile so that when you're using your tile as a coaster on the table, you don't like scratch your table, because the tiles can be quite rough. So it's just basically to protect the surface of your tile. So yes, that's what we need. Finally, we will need a strip of ribbon just to tie the coasters together and give it a good finish. And you will need pegs. So I'll show you what you use these pegs for two purposes: for your foam brush and also to make a stand for the ones that you want your message. So this is just a message I made for my bedside table, and as you can see the back, it's standing using a peg. So that's what your peg will be for. And you'll also need a hot glue gun. This is one of my favorite crafting tools. I don't know what I would do without a glue gun. Yes, you will need a glue gun, and you'll need a pair of scissors. So let's get crafting. So quickly, what I will do is take my spirit. I will clean my tile so as to ensure the surfaces are smooth and clean. So since I've already cut my tiles and I've already filed the smooth edges, I don't need that for now. So I will clean my other tile. Then I will get rid of this just to have space. Yeah. So just a tip, so after I've cleaned it, ensure it's really dry. Spirit actually evaporates quite quickly, so that's why it's actually good to use. So I have two sizes of tile. This is a 4x4, so 4 inches by 4 inches, so it's a square. I'll use this for my coasters, and I've also ensured that I have the message that is printed that fits onto the tile but actually leaves a margin. Then I've printed a message. So this is just a message for my mom that I'm making. So it's also to the size that I wanted. You can customize, design your image or whatever you want to decoupage, and just design to the size of the tile that you'd have ensured that it is cut. So after that, since I've already cut a piece of my foam, that is the adhesive foam. Remember we said adhesive foam. So we'll keep this aside. So I'll start with the coaster. So what you do is, remember we said we are going to make our own foam brush. So what I did is I just you can actually use scissors. Just cut a piece of from your dish sponge, then you attach it to your peg. So basically this is my brush, as you can see. Then I'll take my Mod Podge and just squish a bit of it onto the tile. Take your foam brush and just evenly spread the Mod Podge on the tile. Take care, it can get messy, the glue can go a bit on the side, but not to worry. So the other thing that you can actually do is you can ensure that you can actually stick your foam just before you start. This is what I should have done. So you take your foam, just ensure that it is well stuck. Yeah. So you can, I would advise you do this before or after you are finished with everything, so that after the tile is dry. So remember we applied our Mod Podge, we spread it out using our foam brush. Then you take your message on the normal printing paper using a laser jet printer and just balance it out onto the tile. Ensure the margins are well balanced. Then remember our card. So you take your either old ATM card, ensure it's something you're not using because it can get glue, and just spread out the surface of the stack paper. Don't worry if it smudges out because you're still going to do another step. And ensure it is evenly spread out, there are no air bubbles. Then you give it a few seconds, then we're going to do another coat. So while we do that, we are going to do the message. So you still spread some glue on the tile and then evenly distribute it using your foam brush. Remember, as I said, you can buy this, or instead of buying, just take your kitchen sponge and make your foam brush, and you can actually dispose it after that instead of spending money every time. So spread that. So for this one, I'm not putting any adhesive foam at the bottom because it's not going to be lying flat on a table. It's actually going to be a display message which you can either hang on your wall or you can put on a stand. Then you take your card and you spread it quite well. And just press it gently so that you also don't damage your paper. So I printed my message in green and my tile was actually, I chose a blue tile. I advise you to use a smooth surface tile so that you can actually spread out flat. My mom loves blue, green and brown. Those are a tone of colors, so you know who the person you're gifting, the colors they like. Remember, you don't need to use this only on Mother's Day. You can use it for any occasion, for a birthday, for a wedding gift. You can use it for Christmas and many other things. So once we do that, we are going to come again, and now we are going to put the Mod Podge on top and just spread it evenly. Do not be afraid. You will see white, but do not be afraid because, as I said, Mod Podge dries clear. So you're going to repeat this 3 rounds. The first round, then you put it aside. You set it after you've evenly spread it on top. You set it aside to dry for 15 minutes. Then after 15 minutes, you will come and do another coat and spread it. Then keep it aside again to dry for 15 minutes. Then you're going to come again after 15 minutes and do the last round and then just leave it to dry. This is just to ensure that it is well adhered to your surface. And remember, Mod Podge is also a sealant, so it actually seals it to your surface. So I'd advise you leave it. The more it stays, the better it is. So even if it can stay like 24 hours, just to dry out after you've done all your 3 coats, the better the finish will be. So we'll give this time. We'll come on later to just see how it came out. So I'll just use examples of things that I've done before just to show you how the things come out. So as I said, you can actually use pictures. You can use your children's pictures, you can use family members just to keep your memory. So this is a picture of my mom for an event that she did. So I actually did this for her. So this is ready-made, and I'm going to give this will be part of her Mother's Day gift just for her memories and her to remember. You can do pictures of your children, you can do a different size. This is actually the standard tile. This is the size that it normally comes in. So I didn't cut this, I used it as it is, and this is for the walls. Remember, tiles come in very many sizes. This I made for my bedside. So I made 2 pieces, one for my side and one for my husband's side. And as I told you, for this I used a peg just to make the stand. So I'm going to show you how you're going to make the peg. So you take your piece of peg. We're going to stick this. So this is actually a stand. You can actually get this in the shops in town. So you take your peg, just open it up, apply the hot glue, don't let it go, then slide it without releasing it. and hold it onto the groove where there is glue so that it can stick. You need to give it time, just be a bit patient so that it can hold fast. Remember, hot glue holds very quickly, and just be careful so that you don't burn yourself. I think if you do not have a hot glue, you can find it in several places in town. In Dubois Street, you can find it. River Road, there are quite a number of shops that have it. You can also find it in Textbook Center for those of you who do not really know how to navigate the downtown streets. But there's a lot of glue guns being sold everywhere. They're quite affordable. They start from around 800 shillings to 500 shillings for the smaller guns. And yeah, something that you actually need as a crafter. So our glue is it has held on quite well. So what you need to do is to ensure that you've centered it, then you've put it so that it can lean once it's dry. So I'm going to put glue now on where I want it to hold onto the framed message, the tile. Then I'm going to stick it, just eyeballing and looking for the center. Give it time to dry, just press it gently onto the tile and give it time to dry. So these are pieces that I decoupaged a bit earlier. So they're ready and good to go. You can print any message that you want, any color. Do not be afraid to experiment. You can do a simple pattern, doesn't have to be a message, it can be a photo that you can put on your TV stand, your display stand, your bedside table. You can gift to your family. So yeah, so those are my messages. You can see they're standing on their own. These are my stands. So I think we can move on. So we are done with that. So we are going to move on to our coasters. So you can just put your glue gun aside and switch it off. Ensure that you do not burn yourself. So we are wrapping up our Mother's Day gift. So my mom's message, that's the end product, is once it has dried, I'm going to, after 15 minutes, I'm going to do like 2 more coats. So I'll do 2 more coats. Then after that, I have this. So it's basically a sealant spray. If you do not have this, you can actually use the clear spray. Basically. I'll just show you how it is, but this is normally used for oil painting. In most of the craft shops you can find it. I bought this at Textbook Center. I don't know if they still stock it, but what you do is once you are done with your coats and it's dry, you just take and spray and leave it overnight to dry so that it seals the moisture, especially for the coasters, because you're going to use cups that have liquid in them, so you don't want your word and your messages to be smudging. So just seal it. Even for your photos, I think it would be good to seal it before you end up with your final product. As you can see, our coaster is continuing to dry. So as it dries, you will continue to do the coat. Then these are coasters that I did earlier. So these are also part of my mother's gift. So what we are going to do is I'm going to stack them, then I'm going to put this together so that I wrap as I seal my gift. So I'll take a piece of ribbon, I cut, just have a pair of scissors, and I'm going to stack them. So what I'll do is I just stack them, then I'm going to tie with my ribbon. I hope you know how to do a bow. So that's my bow. So I'll just use this delivered to mom, and all I can say is happy Mother's Day, mom, and thank you for the lovely mother that you are. We celebrate you and we bless God for you and pray for many good years ahead. So that was part 1. Remember, this is our DECOUPAGE series. It's something you can do at home. These are things you can get from your hardware shops, from your crafters shop, and just come up with something simple, unique, creative. So we are going to proceed to part 2 of our Mother's Day.